This video contains content sponsored by John Wilson Blades and MK Blades. Opinions discussed in this video do not reflect the views of John Wilson or MK.
Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Leese and I'm thrilled to welcome 2017 national champion Chen. Karen, you probably don't get tired of hearing that, right? How has it been since you won nationals?
It's been great. It's definitely still shocking to me, and I know I've said that tons of times, but it's just amazing. And in a way, I felt like I amazed myself. I've had such a tough season starting, and being able to skate so great was such a wonderful experience.
Well, let's talk about that. I want to know all about nationals because the one thing that I really got from just interacting with you a little bit in the mix zone was that you seemed very confident at nationals. I mean, you talked about that this season was a struggle, but it seemed like you got to nationals and you felt ready. Is that true? I guess, what did it feel like going into nationals?
Yes, I definitely felt ready. I definitely felt like I trained hard, and I felt I believed in my training, and I felt like I was able to, and I'm ready to be able to perform and do my best. But yes, confidence is one of those things that I've struggled with. And I mean, I may have seemed confident on the practices, but it's definitely something that I was still working on. And at the same time, I was just really focused on what I wanted to do. And I kind of stopped worrying about all the distractions. And I just wanted to focus on what I could control and just do that.
Was there a key moment in your short program where things just clicked on and you felt good from that moment? I guess kind of walk through the competition because you said you were working on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, usually when I land that first jump, the Let's Toe, I feel good. But in during the Grand Prix, I would be able to land it, but then the loop was where I struggled with. So I was really thrilled to be able to finally pull that loop together. Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I really remember is after the short program, you were asked by one of the reporters if you could win nationals, and you said, yeah, if I skate clean, it's definitely possible. And usually the typical skater response is, I'm not thinking about results, I just want to go out there and do my best. But you said, well, yeah, it's possible. And I was really struck by that you did seem confident in yourself. So what were those 2 days like? Because you have a day off between the short and the long, a lot of time to think about where you are. Were you more nervous being first, not being in that position before? What was that like?
Yeah, I was definitely very nervous. I definitely felt the pressure. I mean, I've never ever been in this position before, but at the same time, it was good to have a day in between and to kind of regroup and just think about, I mean, no matter what position I'm in, I still want to go out there and put together a good long. And I mean, it's just either way, no matter what happens, my mindset's just really focused on whatever I want to do. I want to be able to do my best and put 100% into it, even if maybe I'm not feeling that good that day. But I want to give 120% and just go for it.
So walk us through that long program, because it is the program of your career to this point. So, I mean, was it as good as you hoped it would be? I guess kind of walk us through the key moments for yourself.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it went. During the practices, I was struggling with the flip a little bit, and it's either something that I nail it or I just completely miss it or pop it. So I was very happy once I nailed that flip. I was like, okay, this program is going the way I want to. But with the double axel half of triple sow, usually that's the jump where I never ever miss, no matter how wrong the program's going. Like that's the jump that I never miss. So I was really surprised that I missed it. But at the same time, I was like, I had to move on. I still have a lot of jumps coming up, and I just needed to stay really focused.
Well, after nationals, I saw that you were officially verified on social media, which
Yeah.
is like the moment. You saw that you were really excited about it. So what is that process like? I've always wanted to know this because you're now like an official person now that you are verified. Do they email you? How does this happen?
Well, actually, I've been really bad about checking my emails. But yeah, when I woke up and I was like scrolling through Instagram. I just went to my profile and I just saw that blue check mark, and I was really, really, well, I was really excited and surprised because I was like, wow, this is a big deal. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But I did get an email for it, and I did see that later. But yeah.
I've dreamed of that blue check mark. I'm not an
Yeah.
official person. Now, you've been known for having boot problems, and we know that you have a new boot manufacturer. So I guess what kind of boot problems did you have? You know, like what was the problem? Yeah, how did it start?
Well, first of all, like after I broke my foot, this was 4 years ago. After that, I've also had really flat feet to begin with, so finding like the right boots was always a problem for me. And growing up, I was in clean biles and I needed custom boots. And when they closed down is when I started kind of wandering and looking for new boots and something that works. And I just kind of went from company to company. And I think I was in Jackson's for a bit, and I mean, I was just kind of moving around trying to find the thing that works best. And after the injuries, when it got way worse and I was just constantly in pain and boots were breaking and I was in new skates like every week, and it was really hectic and crazy. And so after all of that last season, I realized that I really needed a good pair of boots because it affected my feet, it affected my back, it affected everything. So I spent earlier the season working with a new boot company. They're called Avantas, and they're working really well with me right now. So I'm really happy with that.
Do you have like 20 pairs of boots set to go for next season? So everything is good.
I do have a backup pair. I'm just trying to keep them coming. We actually named my boots. It's like K1, K2, K3, K4. I'm on K4 right now, so I'm hoping there'll be K5 and K6 ready for me.
Now, is it true that you skated in your brother's boots once?
Yes, it was at Champs Camp, I think. My first year in Champs Camp, so last year, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, your brother's a skater as well, but
Yes.
You said he's
doing ice dancing now.
Okay. So how did
he used to be a single skater. Oh, sorry.
I heard that you suggested that he do ice dance. Is that true?
Well, I guess so. Because I really admire ice dancers, and I think it's just wonderful. So, he was struggling with the jumps a little bit. Most of it's just because he's been growing so much, and it was just hard for him to find the balance and with the jumps as well. So I did kind of say that maybe we could try ice dancing, and I think he loves it, so I'm really happy with that. And I'm glad, yeah.
Do you still train at the same rink together? Or?
No, we don't. I train in Riverside. He trains at another rink. He trains at Lake Forest, which is like 40 minutes away from Riverside, but depends on traffic. If traffic's really bad, it could be over an hour.
Yeah. So explain LA geography to me, because I know you're from Fremont, but are Fremont and Riverside, they're not close, right? So how does...
Yeah, they're not close.
So,
Fremont is in Northern California, and where I'm training is in Southern California, so the LA area. But I grew up in Fremont, and I was skating there at the close rink over there for years and years. But it was just the switch was... I think I've been with Tammy for 4 years now. And it was because this was my first coach switch. Before I was with my old coach, Gilly Nicholson and Sherry Crane Thomas. And we were just at a small rink and we were training there, and it was a lot of fun. But Gilly, he can't travel, and it just doesn't work with him. So that's when he suggested me to come here and move here and work with Tammy.
Well, obviously you're in a hotbed of skaters in Southern California. I don't know too much about Tammy. So what is her personality like? She always seems pretty calm at the boards compared to someone like Raphael, who's hitting the boards and yelling. So, what is her personality like in the room?
I think when I first got to know her right away, I realized that she was strict and she has rules and we all follow the rules. But as the years went by, I realized that, it's all about communication. For me, I was kind of a shy person, so it was hard for me to communicate with her, like tell her how I'm feeling that day. Maybe I'm not feeling 100%, something might be bothering me. I need to communicate with that to her so that she knows and she could maybe change up my plan and goals for that day. And so I've gotten a lot better at that, and I think we work great as a team.
Well, obviously you're going to be working together forward, but you also have, choreographers that you work with. But it's been kind of reported different ways that you choreograph your free skate, someone else did. So what is the story there? Because I know that you have worked with Jonathan Cassar, but that you've also done some of your own choreography. So
yes, before Champs Camp, yes, I worked with Jonathan, and we were working together, and we did a lot. We did the whole long program, and we also, I think we did some of the short, but most of the short was my idea, and I kind of choreographed most of it. But I was just kind of playing around with it. I mean, I really loved its music, and I did skate to it before when I was intermediate, so it kind of brought back a lot of memories for me. And it was kind of one of those programs where I kind of realized how much I love skating, and it kind of like brought that out, and I was able to express myself in that way. And as for the long, at Champs Camp, I kind of got some negative feedback on some of the things, and I just didn't have time because after Champs Camp, I had all the competitions were coming up one after another. So I just kind of tried to kind of make some changes and adjustments to like the patterns and just something that I felt like was comfortable for me, and just gradually I started changing little things one at a time, and then kind of the whole program became different. So I don't know.
I've gotten programs that have them be entirely changed by the end of the season. Now, one of the things about your programs is that you've really started highlighting the spiral. I was watching from season to season, and now it's become a
I
real
tried.
throwback. It almost reminds me of kind of the 90s in a good way, of when people used to have really long spirals. So how much have you focused on that? I mean, Nicole Bobek used to say that her mom used to make her stretch that spiral, and then she was glad that she did finally later on. So how did it come about? Do you spend a lot of time stretching for that spiral?
Yeah, I do stretch every day, a couple of times a day. But for me, I guess I didn't. Well, Tammy always told me that it's a moment like I really need to exaggerate and hold it and just like feel the music at that moment. But I think gradually I just started feeling like that spiral was my moment. Like every time I do the program, no matter what went wrong, when I do the spiral, I feel like everything's going right, and it's just something that I really love doing.
Well, the crowd really loves it as well, and they also love your spins. So how much attention did you pay to the spins when you were younger? Because you've always had really fast spins from the time that you're intermediate novice. Was that a big focal point when you were younger?
Honestly, I don't really remember, but I just, for some reason, spins, I guess, came kind of naturally to me. Even now, like, I find myself sticking to the same spins because I feel like it works for me and I feel confident doing them. But I guess when I was young, when I was working with Sherry Crane Thomas, she really helped me with my spins, and I think she's the one that built my basics, so props to her.
Yeah, if you have good spins, do not change them. Don't change anything about
Right.
it. You're lucky. Well, how did you get the good Lutz? Because the one thing about that's always stood out is that you have a really gigantic Lutz compared to all of the other girls. And you're not the tallest person out there, but your Lutz is probably the highest in the competition. So, what has been the key for you with that?
I don't know. Lutz is like my favorite jump. My favorite jumps are Lutz, loop, and axel. And I mean, I just kind of had that thing with the outside edge. I mean, I just love using that outside edge. Sometimes I use it on my flip as well. So that's kind of a work in progress. But I don't know. I remember when I was in juvenile too, I had a big double Lutz, and I'd have like a big double Lutz, and with the combinations, like a big double Lutz and a mini double loop. But I guess it just also came a little naturally for me.
Now, you have a big axle as well. So have you worked the triple axle? Are you working the triple axle? Have you thought about it?
Yes, I've thought about it, and I really think it is possible, but at the same time, staying healthy and triple axles is kind of, it's kind of hard to find the balance. And Hopefully next season I get to work on it a little bit more. I was working on it before I broke my ankle, and I did do some off the harness as well. But as for now, not yet. But maybe like during the off season, I'm hoping, I'm praying. I really want to start working on
You got to
it.
stay healthy. You've got some big things coming up, a big year. Now,
Mhm.
one of the things that I've gotten a lot of questions about is people know that you are Taiwanese and that that's different than being Chinese, obviously. So how important is,
Mhm.
your heritage to you?
I think it means a lot to me. My parents came from Taiwan, and my grandparents and a lot of my family are still in Taiwan. And my family means a lot to me. They support me so much, and they've sacrificed so much for me, and so it's something that's really near and dear to my heart.
Well, you're really popular at Four Continents, especially whenever you've competed, not Four Continents, sorry, whenever you've competed over in Taiwan, because you do exhibitions that are very traditional. So did you choreograph
Hmm.
yourself? Are you trained in that kind of dancing? I guess how did the programs come about?
Yes, I did grow up doing some like Chinese dancing, and it was something I really loved doing, but I haven't been able to go back to that for a long time, and it's hard to incorporate other things at this point. But earlier this season, I did work with one of my instructors from a long, years and years ago, and we did use the long sleeves that I did in the exhibition this year. And it was something that I really wanted to try on the ice because I thought it. I did the fans before, and I felt like people have seen that. I want to try some. I wanted to experiment. I want to try something new, and it was difficult. I didn't get to practice it as much as I would have liked to with the waves, but it was a lot of fun. I was just thankful I didn't trip over them because I have done that before.
Are you more stressed out about the prop or the actual jumps when you're doing the exhibition like that?
Actually, it was a little bit of both. Well, actually, I want to say maybe a little bit more about the prop because before I went to that Lutz, I was like really frantic trying to hold them on really nice and tight because if I let it go, I don't know how I'll be able to get it back together.
Yeah, you don't want to have a wandering prop on the ice. So that
Yeah.
way. Well, talking about gloves, Tammy is known for wearing gloves at competitions. Has she always worn the gloves? Is it that cold? Why is she always wearing gloves at competitions?
I I don't know actually. I'll probably ask her that tomorrow. But at practice, yeah, she always wears the gloves. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's a superstition for her. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
Well, you talked a lot about goal setting. So, what are your kind of goals coming for continents and worlds? It's your first time. You're really establishing yourself on the world
Hmm.
stage. Have you thought about what your goals are for the rest of the season?
Yes. For my goals, like I'm definitely do want to, possibly. I mean, getting on the podium is something that is a goal, but like I don't want to obsess over it because I find myself when I do obsess over goals, I just end up putting like a lot of pressure on myself and it's just really hard for me to deal with. So, and coming up to nationals, I mean, I knew that I wanted to make the podium. I knew I needed to get on the podium to make the world team. And with the Olympic year coming up, it's really important for me. But I just kind of I went to nationals just really thinking about okay, what do I want to get done here? I want to be able to finally prove to myself that I could do a clean short. I've been doing it tons of times in practice, and I want to be able to perform it. So I think I want to approach four continents and worlds. I mean, on the same mindset, and just really be focused on like what is it that I want to accomplish here, and just things that I can control on. Like I can control like how I want to approach this company. I can control that how I want to feel. I want to control like how I want to be able to do my jumps. So I just want to focus on those little things, and I think by doing that, I should be able to put out two good programs.
Has your confidence? Do you feel more confident now after winning nationals? Has it boosted your confidence going into the rink?
Yeah, I think it has. I do feel more confident, like, oh, I finally was able to put out something that I knew I was capable of doing. And I just feel like I just need to use this confidence to boost myself and keep telling myself, like, look, I did accomplish this goal and I can continue to accomplish even more goals in the future.
Well, what are your kind of big goals for the summer that you want to do for your skating? Do you have specific things you want to work on besides the triple axel?
Um, yeah, well, yes, I do want to work on triple axel, and I think there's just so much more. Because I know I did choreograph these two programs, but I feel like I could kind of venture out and really work on that second mark, and just, I love skating so much, and I just want to be able to perform it and just let everyone know how fun skating is, and I just have so much more to work on, so I'm really excited to do that as well.
Have you thought about music already?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
You have any ideas?
I will definitely think of ideas and we can ask people and I'm
Okay.
sure they will. What is your favorite kind of music to skate to when you're not competing? Like, do you put any music on to warm up to just for fun?
Yeah, I do. I do have like a small playlist.
So what's on the
I
playlist?
can't. Um, I have Demons by Imagine Dragons, Radioactive. Let me think. I have a lot. Maybe I'll send it to you later. I have so
Yeah.
much. I can only think of these two on the top of my head right now.
Yeah, we're going to Instagram it and send it out to everyone
Okay.
so they'll give you good ideas. Colors. Do you have colors that you like to wear? Because that can correspond to music. What's like the
I
Karen
like
Chen?
red. I love red. I like black. I like blue. I mean, I love white, but white's kind of one of those colors. Like, it kind of really depends.
Yeah. Well, it can be iffy too. You don't want to blend into
Mm-hmm.
the ice. You want to stand out, so that's good. I like it.
Exactly.
So you're gonna have some long plane rides. So what are you watching on Netflix these days?
Actually, I haven't been. I want to get on that, but schoolwork's been kind of crazy, and I have a deadline coming up. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll have some more time after this, and a lot of. Will you have time after the season to actually go around and visit Finland after the Worlds?
I think so, maybe. And I do really, I wanted to go back to Taiwan for a few days and just kind of visit with my family. I miss them very much. So I don't know, we'll see. And maybe after Worlds, I mean, it's good to take some time off and do some other things for once.
Well, I've heard that you're pretty good at Chinese. So do you want to say anything to all of your fans because you're actually very popular in China? So do you want to say anything to them as we wrap things up?
Um, say something in Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay. 嗨，大家你好，谢谢你们的 support and 我好爱你们。
Well, Karen, we'll be watching you at Four Continents and Worlds. We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David.